What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Caleb, and this is ChatGPT versus me. NFL edition, week 7. Brief little recap on last week. ChatGPT had Ravens -6.5 versus Washington. Ravens looked good. Washington looked still good. Didn't expect Jalen Daniels to look this good. Honestly, I didn't think he was going to be the best quarterback of the draft. In my opinion, I thought it was going to be Bo Nix. Obviously, that's a little biased, but I also thought that he looked the best. He was the most NFL ready. But boy, have I been wrong. The Heisman winner has been looking great. Washington has been looking great. Respect to all of them, but they did lose to the Ravens. Ravens also. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry are starting to put it together after a little, I would say, even start to the schedule. They had some tough games at the beginning, and so now they're already going to play some of these easier teams, and I think they're going to look good. Also, they had Chat had Chargers versus the Broncos under 35.5. Somehow that went over. That game was awful. I'm really disappointed in Bo Nix and Justin Herbert. Bo Nix because I really thought he was going to be better. Granted, he is with the Broncos, and that offensive line is terrible, but I really thought he would be better than what he is right now. And the Chargers, Justin Herbert, they've only beaten under 500 teams, all losing records, and they've lost. Their 2 losses have been to teams who have winning records. So, yeah. Then they had the Lions team total over 27.5 versus the Cowboys, and the Lions whooped all over the Cowboys. It was bad. You should see Jerry Jones look furious. He was ready to fire somebody, but surprisingly, Mike McCarthy still has a job, and they're still believing in that team somehow. But the Lions look great. They look like the Lions from last year, and everybody thought it was going to be this year. Hopefully, they turn it around this season and continue on. I know they do have a winning record, but everybody expected them to be a lot better, to dominate some of these lesser teams, but we'll see. I had the Jags +2.5 versus the Bears. Jags should give up on their season already. They look awful. They're playing in Europe. Yes, it's neutral advantage, home field advantage. Where there's no home field advantage. I can't talk. But Jaguars play there a lot, and then a lot of the London fans or the international fans like the Jaguars because that's the Jags who they always see. So I figured that the Jags would have some type of home field advantage, but boy, the Bears just absolutely whooped on them. Caleb Williams and Co. looked great. Again, another quarterback who I didn't think was going to be good, but he does have a lot of weapons and a better offensive line than Bo Nix. So, he is playing great. Do I think he's Rookie of the Year? No. Then I had the Steelers -3 versus the Ravens. That was probably obvious and the easiest pick of the week. Steelers beat the Raiders. I said the Ravens. Beat the Raiders. Aiden O'Connell. Looked like Aiden O'Connell, what everybody expected. Devontae Adams is gone. The Raiders just give up on the season already. Honestly. And then my last pick was Buffalo versus the Jets. That game was actually kind of close. The Jets actually looked pretty decent. Buffalo looked bad. But now they have a new weapon. We'll talk about that later. But I don't know. But what excuse do you have now, Jets? Y'all did lose. And don't think it was y'all's coach's fault. So I think that was a really early firing for no reason. It may have been Aaron Rodgers motivated, but we won't know. With that being said, let's look at this week's picks. As of now, ChatGPT is 14 -7. I am 7-12-2. I'm catching up as I'm coming 15-50. So, or 500, however you would say it. ChatGPT is pretty much 50% correct more than their losses, whatever. Yada. No one cares. The ChatGPT's picks, they have the Lions at the Vikings. They picked the Vikings -1. They're changing they're using an alternate line. This is a strong option to bet now. The Vikings coming off a bye and are 5-0, while the Lions are dealing with significant injuries on defense. Minnesota's defense is ranked high, and the short spread makes it an attractive bet. The only reason why they went with -1 because both teams are really good on offense. Sam Darnold's looking really good. Lions are looking really good. This is going to be a great game. And it's in Minnesota. Both teams don't give a damn about the cold weather. They both play in cold weathers. The real advantage is at the home field crowd for the Vikings. Then they have Texans at Packers over 47.5. I think they're picking both teams to score over. So this is another pick to bet now. Both teams have shown offense potential, and the total is expected to reflect a high-scoring game. If y'all can get that, I looked at the number. I don't think it's at 47. I may be wrong. If you can get 47, cool. I do think that's gonna hit if you're able to get it. Texans, even though without Nico Collins still putting up points, they have Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, and co. With Joe Mixon coming back, he looked great in his first game back after injury. Packers too. Jordan Love and co. are looking really good. What can you say? The only thing is, if it was a pick'em game, I would go with the Packers, even though I'm a Texans fan. I'm not really. I don't like this game for the Texans. The next pick is Patriots plus 5.5 against the Jaguars. Although both teams are struggling, yes, the Patriots have been undervalued in this matchup, while the Jags not performing as expected. Taking the points here would be a solid choice. They're not picking the Patriots to win. They're picking the Patriots to cover. I do think that the Jags will win this game, but I think it'll be a close game. Both teams are really bad. Drake May did look good-ish. Granted, he did play the Houston Texans. That was a bad team for him to start. I think this would have been the better team for him to start. I think Jacoby Brissett would have gave the Texans a better run for their money, if you would say. They still would have won, Texans. But I think this is Drake May's coming out game. I think he blows up. Look for the Patriots to sneak a dub if they can. Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars have been struggling really bad. They look bad. They're going to probably be last in the AFC South at the end of the year. But we will see. And then they have Broncos versus the Saints. For Thursday's night, consider betting on the Saints' money line. Although they are dealing with injuries, the defense can capitalize on the Broncos' struggling offense. Spencer Rattler is playing, so it will be Spencer Rattler versus Bo Nix. This game will either be a snooze fest or Spencer Rattler is going to go off. And they will run away with Derek Carr. I don't think Derek Carr plays, honestly. I think because of that big blow that he took. He looked bad, really, really bad against, who they play? I don't know who they play, but I can't remember. But they looked really bad. Oh, the Chiefs. But, or was that 2 weeks ago? I don't know. Yeah, the Broncos aren't looking great. The Broncos have a struggling offensive line, like I said earlier. And Bo Nix is not looking like the Bo Nix from Oregon. Granted, though, Bo Nix and Troy Franklin finally connected. Fun fact. With my picks, I picked Eagle -3 versus the Giants. Eagles been doing mid, while the Giants have been doing bad as expected. That being said, the Giants have technically been in all 3 games. Their biggest loss was against Cincinnati. I think it was 10 last week. And yeah, Jalen Hurts and the star-studded cast looks to show the Eagles who the big brothers are. Still, Hurts does need to play better. 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And is Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts getting along? That is, everybody's saying that there's some disconnection there. They're not really getting along. I'm not trying to start rumors. I'm just repeating what everybody else is saying. But I do think the Eagles show their muscle with Saquon Barkley and co. And whoop on the Giants. Next is Bills Titans. I picked the over 40.5. So the Titans have not scored more than 20 points besides once. I believe. Yes, once, and that was against Miami. The spread is too big for me for my liking. It's at 9.5. And the Bills, they just came off a tough 3-game road trip. They went 1-2. Their only win was against, I can't remember who they played. Who was their last win against? I know they lost to the Texans, my team, and to the Ravens, I believe. Oh, they beat the Jets. Duh. But they do have Amari Cooper. Does that give Shakir a lost reception Diggs replacement with Amari Cooper? Is it a good fit? who knows? Titans, though, they're looking just as bad as the Jaguars. They're both 1-4. It's a battle of who's going to lose the AFC, or who's going to be in last place for the AFC South. I think it'll be the Titans, or no, I think it'll be the Jags. But who knows? There is some memes going around too with Will Levis of all him getting tackled and sacked all the time. I think those are pretty funny. Next pick is Atlanta Moneyline versus the Seahawks. Kirk Cobangs and Atlanta are 3-game winning streak, while Seattle have a 3-loss losing streak. Did I say that right? A 3-game losing streak. There you go. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with me today. Sorry about this, guys. Two of those losses being contenders against the Lions and 49ers. Hawks, if they lose today, or at least not today, this week, do they move on from Geno? Y'all think so? I think so. The Hawks defense, as in the Seahawks, are beat up really bad. Artie Burns, Rashawn Jenkins, both on IR. Trey Brown injured last week. He's listed as questionable. And their wide receiver, Lavishka, or how you pronounce his name, LSJ, is banged up. I think his back's hurt. Since the Seahawks defense is bad, I expect Bijan Robinson to do good, finally go over 100 rushing yards this year, hopefully, for the first game. I think Kirk Cobangs, Drake London, and co freaking dominate this game. It is in Atlanta, so that's why I picked Atlanta Moneyline. For some reason, the spread was really close. I don't like it, but Vegas knows everything, so let's go Atlanta Moneyline. And then I have the Chargers versus the Cardinals, plus 2.5. I think the Chargers in the Cardinals game will actually be a lot better than the Chargers and Broncos game. Surprising. I think Justin Herbert and Kyler Murray actually kind of flex their muscles and show why they are the starting quarterbacks in this league. Only reason why I'm picking the Cardinals is because they're playing at home and the Cardinals have beaten two tough opponents. While the Chargers' only 3 wins have been against the losing record teams, and their losses have been against winning record teams. Also, Harrison is Harrison playing, actually? He got hurt last week. He is on, I think today, as in Thursday, he had a practice, but non-contact practice. So, we will see. Give me the Cardinals plus 2.5. And sorry about this week, guys, about me, stuttering and going blank for a few seconds. I don't know what's going on with my head. I may need to get checked out, but I'm not going to stop making bets. Go ahead and check out my Week 8 in college football, which will be uploaded, I believe, tomorrow on Friday, or maybe uploaded today. We'll see. With that being said, like, subscribe, check out my other videos. Hopefully we're getting the Merlin box in too from the mail, so I can rip that and show y'all what we got. And yeah, see y'all soon. Bye.